It's too easy. Hey guys, 22 Plinkster here. It has been a while since I made a review on a scope. I've done a lot of scope reviews in the past, and you have may seen an Arken, probably about 5 or 6 videos down through the years, but I've never did a dedicated video on the scope, going through anything and everything about it. Now, I'm not sponsored by Arken. Arken's not paying me for this video. They did send me the scope to try out, and I think it is a really good scope for the price point. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. I have made probably 3 to 5 videos on Arken scopes in the past, put them on different firearms, and for the money, I do believe they are one of the best target scopes that you can buy for the money. They have Japanese glass in them. The glass is super, super clear, and you get a lot of scope for a little bit of money. Now, this is not going to be a hunting scope, so if you think you're going to put this on your dad's 30-06 and take it out in the field, you're not going to be happy with it. The big reason it weighs over 40 ounces, it is a heavy scope. The scope is designed to be put on a bench rest rifle or for competitive shooting. So that way, when you're shooting in competition, especially long range, weight has nothing to do with the rifle. You're not getting up and running with it, so it doesn't matter how heavy it is or how light it is. You actually want a heavy scope and a heavy firearm to take in some of that recoil and to eliminate some of the movement of the rifle. But let's go over some of the features on this Arken. This is the EP-5 Gen 2. This particular one is 7x35, so you get a lot of magnification, okay? 35 power of magnification is a lot in any scope. At that point, I've got high blood pressure. When I zoom that thing in on 35 power, no matter how steady I think I am, I can just see my heartbeat in the crosshairs. So 35 power is a lot of magnification. Now on the side here, it does have an illuminated reticle that you can turn on. It uses a CR 2032, which doesn't come with the scope, but I've got about 100,000 of those in the house, so I just popped one in. You do have your side focus, and you do have your exposed turrets that for your windage and also your elevation. One good thing I like about this particular optic, it has 0 stop. And I believe if you have a target scope, 0 stop is a must, it is a need. So they did incorporate the 0 stop in the Gen 2. Now you do have your side turrets right here on the side. You do not have a side stop on the side turrets, but you do on the top. So I'm gonna turn on my trigger cam right here. I've got some targets downrange. We're just going to be doing a little bit of shooting. I'm going to show you what the reticle looks like inside. It is a first focal plane, and I'm just going to be shooting at 100 yards, some smaller targets, some larger targets. That way you guys can, see what the reticle looks like and what you can expect. Now, I will tell you one thing. This trigger cam does a really good job of showing you guys kind of what I see, but the optic usually is probably about 33% clear. So if it looks a little fuzzy, it's because the focus is not set perfect or the eye relief's not set perfect on it. You can only do so much with these trigger cams for me to show you exactly how I'm seeing. So, all right, let me get loaded up with some ammunition and we're going to be doing some shooting. All right, let's talk about the firearm just a little bit. If you've been a follower of the channel for a while, you know this is my Voodoo. This is the most accurate bolt action 22 that I own. And you've seen it in a couple of videos. And today I want to be shooting some CCI green tag out of it. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this is good target ammunition, but it's not really considered match ammunition, but it's probably the best target ammunition that you can buy for a rimfire. But I have since then put an Eric Cortina easy tuner on the end of the barrel, which will allow this, target ammunition to shoot more like match. It's not quite match yet, but it does make it shoot a little bit better. Now, I've also replaced the trigger. Now, the Voodoo trigger that I had in here before, it was good. It was about a 1.2 ounce trigger. It broke very clean, but I wanted something a little bit lighter. I recently upgraded it to a Timney hit trigger, and it is an adjustable trigger from 8 ounces all the way up to 2 pounds. You heard me right, basically a half a pound. Right now I've got it at the half a pound setting. And here's a fun fact. Since this is a Remington 700 I guess the Voodoo's on a Remington 700 design. You can take a Remington 700 short action stock, put the Voodoo in it, and same thing with the trigger. You can take a regular Remington 700 trigger and put it in a Voodoo. So I've just got that Timney in here. But Timney was actually the first company who ever created an aftermarket trigger for the Remington 700. So that's a really cool fact. Right here, I'm going to show you guys as best as I can using my trigger cam, okay? This trigger cam does okay. It's not great, it's not perfect, and it's usually about 30% more blurry than I would want it to be, but just know any kind of picture that I'm showing you, video I'm showing you in this trigger cam, just think in your mind, and if you're looking through the scope with your real eyes, okay, it's about 30% clear. So this can only do so much. Now, I'm going to turn that trigger cam on right now, okay? And the rifle is pointed at a know your limit target down there at 100 yards. This scope is 7x35. So right now it is set at 7 power. And I will zoom it in, okay? And that is set to about 20 power. Which 20 power on those targets, the far left one I think is 2 inches, then it goes down to 1.5 inches and 1 inch, all the way over to 1/4 of an inch on the right. This particular one is made by Caldwell, so if you're interested in this know your limit target, they're not very expensive, but it will make you a better shooter, and they're really fun to shoot. And this right here is all the way at 35 power. The only bad thing about 35 power is the slightest bit of movement. You know, you see this right here. I'm just barely touching this and those crosshairs are moving. But we're going to do some shooting and we're going to make sure that this scope tracks, because if a scope doesn't track, it's kind of pointless. But I am recording, CCI green tag. I'm going to take these glasses off because I cannot see through this scope with glasses. And let's just try to hit the know your limit target on the very far left-hand side. And I'm set at about 18 power right here. All right, let's see where that shot went. It is a little breezy out here today. It's not too bad, it's just a little 5-mile-an-hour gust. Okay, I hit that on the left-hand edge. That was square in the middle. And this Timney trigger at 1/2 pound, I'm talking, it's a 2-stage trigger, so it comes back, and when it stops, you barely pull it, it's going to go off. It's so nice. That's a hit. It wasn't a good solid hit, but it was a hit. Went a little high right on that one. There's a hit. There's a hit. Now with match ammo, you don't miss at this distance, but this green tag is doing pretty good. Went slightly right. Slightly right again. There we go. Aimed just a little bit to the left. I think I'm out. So I didn't get to shoot the 1/4 inch. Now what we're going to do, now that I've confirmed that it's pretty much on, I'm going to load up 10 rounds here. And I'm going to crank on this scope on the turrets. And if you shoot long range, you know that you're constantly dialing your turrets, okay, at different ranges, different altitudes, different distances. And if a scope does not track correctly, meaning if you go and you shoot the rifle and you hit your target at 100 yards, and then you shoot at 1,000 yards and you back it back down to 100 yards and it's off, that scope is no good. It's got to be able to track and track properly. So, all right. Let's go here and let's just shoot to confirm once more. I'm going to shoot this far left one. All right, dead center. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to crank this turret all the way up. All right, let's leave it here for just a second. crank it all the way back down. That is a lot of travel. Back to the 0 stop. Dead center. All right, now let's try it with our windage. All right. Okay, all the way over to the left. Let's go back to 0 here. Perfect, right in the middle. You really can't ask for much more than that. All right, now I've got some paintballs and other things downrange at 100 yards. It's going to be hard to hit paintballs at 100 yards without match ammo, but we're going to try. So I'm going to turn this on. Okay. Let me make sure that is recording. Yeah, it says it is anyways. All right. All right, there is a paintball right up there on that corner that's standing at 100 yards. Just smoked it. Well, that kind of surprised me because paintballs are very small. All right, let's see what else we can find. Oh, there's another one on the corner of that target. This rifle is so accurate. And combined with this Arken scope, for the price range, you can't really get any better. All right, there's a 20 gauge shotgun shell that is empty. Whoop, I missed that one. Got it. Got it. Am I out? Yep, I'm out. All right. See, and that's why 22s are so much fun. You can put just little bitty small targets downrange, you know, 50 yards, 75, 100 yards. If you have a really good setup, a really accurate setup, you can even stretch that out to 125, 150, and even 200 yards. Rimfire is just so much fun. All right. Load up 10 more here. All right. There is some chalk right there. Let's see if we can hit that chalk. Well, that was kind of anticlimactic. Had one of those firebirds in there. All right. I think there's another one. This is at 75 yards, so I'm gonna have to aim a little low. Nailed it. Crazy, crazy, crazy good. All right, what else? Let's go up here. Let's go back to the know your limit target. See if I can hit that 1/4 inch. That's a 1/4 inch wide target at 100. Oh, I nicked it. Nicked it again. All right, I gotta flip it here. There we go. That's 3 hits in a row. Now let me just magnify it all the way up to 35 power here. Wow, that makes a huge difference, but you're gonna see every little movement in the scope now. There we go. Just need a little bit more magnification. Shot a little to the right on that one. Whoop. Gotta hit it. Not missing it by much. There we go. All right, so now that you guys saw it on full magnification, it's a lot of scope, especially for a rimfire. But if you're doing precision shooting, just like I was doing at, you know, little bitty paintballs and 1/4 inch targets at 100 yards, you need that magnification to get out there. Now, whether you're putting this on a 7mm or you're putting it on 6.5 Creedmoor or 22 long rifle, the recoil is, this scope will hold up to a recoil of a 50 BMG. It also comes with a sunshade. So in the morning times, right now it's the evening time, but in the morning time, I've got the sun coming over this hill, and I was shooting it yesterday, and I had to put the sunshade on it because it was glaring pretty bad. But that sunshade, it comes with it. It comes with the scope cover. It doesn't come with this throw handle, which I highly recommend if you do get this scope, to get this throw handle. And I've also got a leveler here on the side that doesn't come with it, but you can also buy those at Arken. Guys, for the price point of around $700, sometimes they go on sale. They're a little bit cheaper, sometimes they're a little bit more. And if you're looking for a scope to put on your Voodoo, on your Anschutz, on your Verkortzen, you know, anything rimfire that is a very accurate rifle that you want to give it the best chance you can possibly give it with a good optic, this Arken for the money, you can't go wrong with. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, put them in the comments below. Until next time, y'all be safe and keep looking.